Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. Few videos back, I did a video on my GPR, my general purpose rifle, and I had some people in the comments say, "Well, this is way out of my price league," and can't afford that kind of stuff. Now, granted, my general purpose rifle, I have been working on that for like 14 years. So if you figure, X amount of dollars a year, that was not built in a day. But I do have a rifle here that I put together about 10 years ago, and I thought I would go over sort of the prices on the different parts here that I put together on this particular rifle, and it is basically what you would call an economy build. But there are a few things on this rifle that I have added over the years from parts that I had here, from things that I learned from putting other rifles and stuff together. And I have got a pretty solid platform here of like a tertiary rifle for some type of SHTF event, or a rifle that I could loan out to people if it would be needed here. It is just a basic M4, and this is what it looks like, and give you a bit of an idea here what this particular M4 looks like. And this guy started 10 years ago, because I actually look back through my photos, and in 2015 is when I originally put this together. And I got two Anderson lowers, and the Anderson lowers, that's the part on the bottom here that you bolt everything else onto, and it's a serialized part that you actually fill out the paperwork. And I bought two of them, and I paid about $50 a piece for them, if my memory is correct. I bought two, and I made two rifles out of them, two lowers, and I still have them both today, this is being one of them. And then the next thing that I got was the lower parts kit. And the lower parts kit is everything that goes inside this, your safety, your mag release, whatever. And I actually got Bushmaster part kits, the old Bushmaster part kits, and if I remember correctly, I paid about $40 for those lower parts kits, and one went in this rifle, and the other one went in my other one. And then I got the stock kit. Now, I didn't put these all together at once. This took over the course of a year or so for me to put these together. I got a stock kit, and at that time, it was a basic stock kit. It was just the buffer tube and the spring and the buffer and a regular, GI stock. And that I have actually switched out because I had other rifles and stuff here that I had other parts for. So I went ahead and, I would swap out parts. If I put an upgrade on a different rifle and I had the part left that was better than what I had on this, I took that part and I added it onto this. And then I got a old PSA upper. And at the time, the PSA uppers were about $250, if I remember correctly. And it was back before, like, PSA had all these different, like levels of, it was just whatever. You bought a classic M4 upper, that's what you got. And that's what I got. And, of course, it didn't have any rear sight on it. It was just the rifle and then the front sight post. And because my GPR was a Colt, it came with a carry handle. And I actually liked the carry handle sight on that particular rifle. So when I took that carry handle off and I put a optic on my GPR, I put this carry handle sight onto this economy build that I was doing here, and it's been a great combination. I set my front sight post, set my rear here, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I actually like the carry handle when you're carrying this, out at the range or whatever. And at that point, I had a pretty solid setup. But I still, again, added and changed things as time went by. And the one thing that I added was a Badger tack latch. And this is the old school tack latches that were on these, kind of like before the BCM gunfighters and like the Radians and everything that you got now. But these Badger latches right here, that's this part right here, not the whole charging handle. It's this latch right here. You can get them for about $20. In fact, I don't even think they are $20. I think they're like maybe $16. And, you know, I changed that out, put that into one of the Colt charging handles that I had here, and it gives me an upgraded charging handle. So, you know, right now I'm rocking this, and this works just as good as the BCMs, and it's only like 1/3 of the price, but you'd have to have, you know, a little bit of technical knowledge to, you know, switch that guy out there, and you need some roll pin punches. Roll pin punches are pretty inexpensive. They're worth getting if, you know, you're doing any type of build stuff on any rifles like this. Well, then, you know, I switched the stocks out. I switched the buttstock and the grip, and I actually put one of these larger trigger guards in here. That's a trigger guard off of a it's a Magpul enhanced trigger guard is what they call it. It's for if you use gloves. It just gives you a little bit more space in there. And I had one of those laying around here, so I threw that in here, threw this MOE Magpul MOE stock on here, you know, and the same thing with an MOE pistol grip. And, you know, it's a pistol grip on the bottom where you can add, and you can put batteries in it if you're running a flashlight, or you can run a, you know, a cleaning rod in it, or not a cleaning rod, but a bore snake. You can keep a little bottle of lube in there, whatever you think that you need. Then this actually came with sort of the large heat shield foregrips on here. It was really large, and I have smaller hands. I didn't really care for that. So then when I was on Brownells looking around sometime for a part for something else, I ran across, this is a double star grip on here, and they were like about $8, and it was quite a bit thinner than the original one that I had on there. So I picked one of those up, put it on, absolutely love it, fits my hands beautifully. And then I actually, because these sometimes have the tendency to get slick when you're holding on to these, especially if it's hot outside. So these are actually Israeli military surplus. They're basically like a little cuff that you slide over your grip, and it gives you a better grip, and it absorbs sweat or whatever. And absolutely love these. If I run a round handguard on an AR, these are well worth the like $10 that it costs for one of these. And then wanted a light. You know, any serious rifle that for like a home defense rifle or something, you're going to need some type of light on it. And you can get these Picatinny rails that clamp onto the standard front sight posts for about $20, sometimes even less. Clamp one on there, and then most of the inexpensive Surefire flashlights are a 1-inch tube, which means you can use a 1-inch scope ring and clamp that on to your Picatinny rail to your front sight, and then you can throw on one of those Surefire flashlights. And this is actually, what is it, a G2X, and it's an LED light, takes two 1, 2, 3 batteries, and it's got a 2-position switch. It's got like a low beam and then a high beam, and the low beam for actually real close in work is plenty powerful enough, and because it's LED, you don't have to change the lights very often. And then the other thing on here is a Blue Force Gear Sling. Now, this Blue Force Gear Sling that is on here, these are about $60, $70 now, but at the time, if you got an AK one, they were about $59, if I remember correctly. And then they came with this little swivel right here. And what it is, it's a swivel, and it's a kind of a reinforced cable. And that is a perfect thing to slide through the stock sling mounts on these M4s, because this swivels, this turns up, so then it's almost like a side mount. And the AK slings automatically come with them. So if you get an AK sling from Blue Force Gear, you got one of those little swivel mounts on it. If you try to buy them separate, you know, this is like $25, and then the sling is like $60 or whatever. So now you're paying like $80 or whatever. But if you buy them as a set, you can get them for maybe $69. And that's what I did. And then probably the most expensive upgrade that I did on this rifle, and it was the last thing that I did on this rifle, is I actually took the stock trigger out of this because it was pretty rough and gravelly, and I put in a Patriot Ordnance trigger group in here, and that's what that little retaining pin is there. That keeps those cassette pins, keeps those pins from walking out. And I paid $130 for that. So now, you know, I got $50 into the lower, got $50 into the stock kit. The furniture I had here, this I had here, got another $15 or so into the Badger tack latch. I got $8 into this, you know, $130 for my enhanced trigger group. Got like $59, $69 into the sling and the swivel. These lights at the time were probably $50, $60. And, you know, I got scope rings here laying all over the place, paid another $20 for the mount on here. And then, of course, I went and I purchased one of these caps to cover this up if I don't want to use my light, so I don't have any reflection off the front of the rifle. And then, you know, I got just a basic enhanced trigger guard down here. Like I said, these aren't very expensive again. And then another thing that I did is I went up to the hardware store and I got some of this grip tape. And the grip tape, that's about $1 a foot. And it's the same stuff that they put like on stairs. So it gives you a good positive grip. I threw a little grip tape on a couple different spots on this rifle here. And that's it. It's put together. And if I did my math on that, this rifle, I've got about $700 into this rifle totally. But the thing with this rifle now is this guy, no matter, this is solid. Right here, I put good magazines, good ammunition in this. It's about a 6.5 pound rifle loaded. It's a beautiful gun. I can take this anywhere. I can, you know, everybody that I know pretty much knows how to use these, so I can loan these out to people and they could, you know, they could use this efficiently, I'm sure, 100%. But this is a solid enough build, and I've shot this enough that I'm perfectly comfortable with this rifle. I know it's going to be a decent, solid rifle. Anything that I add to this rifle at this point is only going to make this better. So like for 2 years down the road, you know, I run across like a used aim point or something that I can put on top of here. I run into something else, some other enhancement that I'm getting a good deal on, where I'm saying, hey, you know what, if I add that to this rifle, it's going to make this rifle better. Anything that I add to this rifle from this point forward is only going to make it a better package. So anyway, wanted to show this to you guys here and let you know that you don't have to spend, you know, a couple of $1,000s to have a decent home defense or, you know, Minuteman type firearm. It just takes a little time. And, you know, vet your stuff. If you put something on a firearm, make sure that you take it to the range, you shoot it, you make sure it's good, doesn't interfere with, you know, the workings of the weapon and stuff, because I've had that problem in the past too. But right here, solid rifle, solid components, practice, you know, several times a year with it. Get out, have yourself a half a dozen good magazines, get yourself a good Blackhawk chest rig off of Amazon or something. And, you know, you're ready for a lot of different bad events. But anyways, Modern Refugee, appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys enjoyed this video here. This rifle here is not quite so expensive like the other one that I showed you in that video here. But again, I threw this guy together over 10 years ago, and it's just been evolving and getting better ever since. But anyway, appreciate you guys. You guys have a good one.